Harika?
Input split is a logical representation of piece of data which is processed by a single mapper.
Very good. Which will process by a single mapper. So that is not a physical, that is just a logical. Correct? Okay. What is a record reader? What is a record reader? Sai, what is a record reader?
So it basically reads one line and it will send it to the map method.
Okay, it'll read the
Like line by line, just one line, it will read one line and it will
okay.
send it to the map method. And
Okay, it'll read record by record. Record by record. You should not say line, you should say record by record. So if
okay.
anyone asks you to say what is a record reader is the object which will read, which has a set of methods to read a record by record, and it will prepare the key value pairs. It will prepare the key value pairs. It will not give to the, it will not hand over, right? Someone has to ask. When they ask, then only will give. So your map method is asking to give a key value pair. So that's why your map method. So record reader will not read and give automatically. So it will prepare the key value pairs. It will keep it. So your map method will ask me, oh, get me the key. Your map method is asking. So whoever is calling your map method, those guys are asking to give the key value to a map method.
Okay.
Let's go ahead, guys. Today we are going to see some more examples. So the first example what we are going to see is the second example. What the example we are going to see is grep. Grep means search for the specific word. Grep means search for the specific word or specific line, whatever the content you want, whatever you are searching, right? So now let me take a same example. I need the same example. How I drag down. This is my input. In this input, I want to search for, in this input, I want to search for um, the word called distributed. I want to search for the word called distributed. So now my requirement is I have input data. In this input data, I want to search for distributed. Distributed. So this is my word. I want to search for this. If this word is found, this word is found, I just need to print complete line. I just need to print a complete line. Print complete line. Okay. So I want the answers from you now. You guys understand we have spent almost 8 to 9 days on the basics. Now I want to know how you will do this. So whenever you see a problem statement, what first we need to understand? Requirement. Based on the requirement, you need to understand the data. What type of data it is? Text data. It is text type of data. If it is text type of data, what is the input format? Guys, what is the input format? Anil, what is
Text
the
input format.
text input format? It is text input format. We have seen yesterday, correct? I have shown the source code as well. If it is a text input format, what is my block input split? Your input split is nothing but block. Your input split size is nothing but block size. It is not taking the block. Input split size is more is equivalent to block size. Okay, it's equivalent to block size. Now, after calculating your input split and input split, it will calculate what is my K1. What is the type of my K1? If it is a text input format, what is the K1? What is the K1? Guys, what is the K1? Whenever you see a problem statement, first you need to identify what is the K1, V1, K2, V2. You need to identify that. Anil, what is the K1?
K will be the key value for that. Like in this case, the text when you say the text file, that particular line, entire line will be the key for that.
No. Aparna?
Offset.
Offset. Offset of the line. Yesterday I have explained so many times. If it is a text input format, your key will be offset. Your key will be offset. This is your key. Offset. It will start with 0 and so on. It will be maybe 65. It may be 120. So this is what I have explained yesterday. So offset. Offset means what data type? What is the data type? Long writable. I have explained why it is long writable also. Because the offset may be bigger number, which is more beyond your integer range. That's why your K1 is offset. That is long writable. Your V1 is complete line. Now V1 is a complete line. Your V1 is a complete line. So as I said before, guys, your map method expect K1, V1, then it will emit K2, V2. Now we need to identify what is the K1, V1 to process. You will write some logic in this. After logic, you will write what is your K2 and you will write what is your V2. So we need to identify what are the data types of them, right? Before putting your logic, before you writing your map logic, we need to understand what is the K1 type, what is the K2 type, and based on that I need to write an algorithm, right? What is a V1? Anil? Complete line.
Entire line. Yeah, I was going in another way. Yeah, got it.
So it is a text. Now what is the problem statement? Grep. What is the problem statement? Grep. Grep means search for the specific line. If the line is found, you just print the complete thing, complete line, print the complete line. So what will be my V2? I mean K2. Let's talk about the K2 first. This is my cursor. Yeah. So now my problem statement is if I found the distributed as a keyword, if I found in the line, so I need to emit complete line. So what will be my K2? What will be my V2? If you guys can answer this question, it means that you guys are thoroughly understood the framework. What is your K2? What is your K2 means your output. K1 V1 is given by framework. K2 V2 is your output. So I need to print complete line. What you will do? If you are a developer, what you will do?
Basically, in the Unix command, Unix, it will directly go for row by row operation. Wherever you find that particular row, when you use the grep command, it will fetch that particular entire record.
Correct. This is the same only we are going to implement on the Mapreduce. Same only we are going to implement on the Mapreduce.
So in this case, either we have to you have to specify, how to identify that particular your keyword in that particular keyword over there.
That's I'll write in my
There,
map logic. That is my logic. Inside my map logic, I write if condition or whatever it is. I will write my if condition in the map logic. That's my Java code. Okay. But before you writing the Java code, what you need to identify? What is my K2 V2? K1 V1 identified because it's a text input format, long writable and text. So I don't have any problem. Now what will be your K2? What will be your K2? What will be V2? So what is your output you are looking for? Complete line. So my K2 will be text. So I'm going to put complete text, complete line. And my V2, I don't need to print anything for V2. I don't need anything because I already printing complete line as a K2. I can say null writable. Null writable. Or you can take one more, or you can do one more thing. Okay, sir, K2. I don't want to K2 take as a key. K2 I'll take offset. I want to print the same whatever the line it came, which line it is came, or which offset it is started. I'll print offset as a K2. Then in this case long writable. Then V2 sir, I'll print a complete line. If it's matched, I'll print a complete line. It's null writable. So this is how you're thinking. This is how the business comes into mind. I mean, into the picture. So how you're thinking, what you are going to print. This is where your logic comes. If you see, this is where your capability. I mean, instead of saying capability, your programming skill comes into picture. Okay, when I see the problem statement, so what is my K1 V1? Okay, it's the data type is in text input format. K1 is always long writable. If it is a text input format, blindly remember, if it is a text input format, K1 is a long writable only. V1 is a complete line, which is a text only. That's fixed because we don't have any control on it until unless you write your own custom input format. By default, we are taking the default input format. We're using the framework input format, which is given by framework. So we are using the framework is given input format, which is the text input format. So we have to make use of the framework given types only. So framework is given my K1 as a long writable, my V1 as a text. So the only control is there you have. So how you want to emit your output, your mapper output. So, sir, I will emit my whole line as a key, and I'll not write emit anything in the value. I'll say null writable. Sir, or I'll do one thing, sir. I will emit my key to as offset, which is the which line it found. The offset. It's not even line number. We need to remember one more thing. It's not a line number. It is offset number. Sir, I'll give the offset number, sir. Then I'll give the value. I'll not give. I mean, sorry. It's complete line I will give, sir. Offset and complete line I will give. It's wrong. Sorry here. It is a text. Sir, first I will give the offset of the line where I found this distributed keyword. Then I will give the complete line, sir. So my output in this case, first case one, my output looks like complete line. So let's say in this it should simple line. So null is null. So it won't print anything here. In this case, my output will come, let's say 0, and here I'll get the complete. It should like this. In the first case, I'll get the line and null empty. It will not show anything here. You cannot recognize anything. It's just single line it will show. In this case, the output will show your offset and comma, offset space your value. Offset space some value it will show. This is how your the way what you are going to think. It will come into picture. So what is your K2? What is your V2? Everyone able to follow or any doubts? Anil, Harika, Aparna, Kishore,
Yes, sir.
Rakesh and others, Sai, Rakesh, Sai, you guys are able to? Venkatesh?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear from the Harika and others.
No
Sir,
doubt, sir.
Okay, so the K1 V1 is already given by framework. K2 V2 we have to calculate based on our logic. So what will be our logic? What is our output we are looking for? This is the complete line. I'm looking for complete line I need to print. So when I want to print complete line, what will be my K2? What will be my V2? So that is depends on you. That is, sir, I'll also print offset. Okay, go ahead and print. So I ask for banana. You say that I'll give apple as well. You say happy, right? I'll take happily. So, but it should not break no what you want. It should not break the thing. So I ask for the apple. You should not say no. I'll not give apple. I'll give egg. So that's wrong. Okay. Okay. Now you guys need to tell me. Now I found K2V2. Now what is my K3V3? K3 means you reduce your output. What is your K3V3? What is your K3V3? What is the type of your K3V3? This is what we need to do, guys. In interview also, wherever it is. When you see the problem statement, what is the data, how it looks, what is the delimiter, whether it's a text data or is something else data, and if it is a text data, I have to go with the text input format. If it's some other data type, I have to go with some other input format. Then, if that is the input format, what is the K1 V1? Okay, based on the problem statement, what needs to be emitted by mapper? What needs to be emitted by reducer? So you need to design that first. Then you start coding. Otherwise, if you start coding, you may realize in the middle of code, you need to entire code has to be modified. Your entire code has to be modified. Okay, so instead of that, first you design it. Okay, this is my problem statement. This will be my K1, this will be my V1, this will be my K2, this will be my V2, and this is my final output. Okay, you should design like that. Okay, can anyone tell me what is my K3 V3? K3 V3 is nothing but reducer. Aparna?
No reducer for this is needed.
Very good point. Anyone else? Why others are silent? Do you guys didn't understand last classes? Do you guys not able to follow the previous classes? The first thing is, whenever the problem statement comes, based on the problem statement, we need to think K1 V1, K2 V2, and whether do we need a K3 V3. K1, K2 V2 we need it. Mapper we always need it because without mapper there is no reducer. Okay, there may be a chance where without reducer mapper can be there. There are chances. Okay, without reducer mapper can be there, but without mapper nothing will be there. Mapper is the first phase. Without having that first phase, we cannot have other phases. One second, guys. I'll just be back in a minute. Okay, so whenever see a problem statement, you should be identify whether map is required, whether reducer is required or not. Map is required always. Without mapper, you cannot have your mappers framework. Mapper should be there. Reducer can be optional. Whether right to reducer or not optional. So, okay. Aparna, can you justify why reducer is not required?
So because mapper will do a job of finding all the words. Like in a particular line, if you want distributed, it will search all the lines and give it in the mapper itself.
Okay, so what is she is trying to say here? So this is my problem statement. So in my mapper, I'll say, so in the mapper, my problem statement is, if I find the distributed as a keyword, if I find a key as a distributed, I'm emitting complete line, sir. I'm emitting complete line. So why should I go for reducer? Reducer's main purpose is aggregations. I don't have any aggregations here. Found, display, that's it. Found, display, that's it. So I don't need to worry about the aggregation part. So that's why I don't need my reducer, sir. So there is no short and shuffle. There is not, I don't require reducer part here. That's why I don't have a K3V3. I don't need a K3V3. If you don't need a K3V3, so what we need to do? If you are not using, we have seen identity mapper, identity reducer, if you guys remember. If you are not using a reducer at all, you need to set num reducer task 0. We have seen in the last class, which is identity reducer. That identity reducer, what does it mean? If you're not using your any input, if you're not using any output, by default reducer, by default mapper will be, sorry, if you're not writing your own mapper, if you're not writing your own reducer, default mapper, default reducer will be executed. In our case, if you're not writing your reducer, there may be a chance that the default reducer can execute. Yes or no? If you're not writing your own reducer, there may be a chance that default reducer can execute. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
So if you are not writing your own reducer, there may be a chance where the not chance, it is always, if you are not writing your reducer, default reducer will be launched. But I don't want at all the reducer at all. What I need to do, there is some property called set num reduce tasks. There is some property called your job dot set number of reduce tasks 0, because you don't want at all. It should not launch at all. Reducer should not launch at all. You should set 0. Everyone able to follow? Anil?
Yeah, Vira, I got this.
You got the point, right?
Yeah.
Harika, Kishore, Rakesh, Sai, please tell me, don't sake of me, okay? If you didn't understand, tell me openly. So I'll explain one more time.
Understand, Veera?
It doesn't mean that everyone should understand in single attempt. No. So some people may attempt two, three attempts. Sai, Rakesh,
Yes.
able to understand, right? Able to follow. Okay. Now, for this problem statement, I don't need a reducer. So if I don't need a reducer, I cannot blindly leave it. If I blindly leave it, there may be a chance where the default reducer can launch. Where default reducer can launch. So I don't want default reducer also launch, because even if default reducer launch, there may be a chance some process will go. The default reduce task will execute. Default reduce task will execute. Again, we're occupying some resources. I don't want to do that. So I'm very much happy with the mapper. Then set number of reduce tasks equal to 0. Set number of reduce tasks equal to 0. Set number of reduce tasks equal to 0. Let's go ahead and look at, guys, how it looks. Let's look at how the code looks. You need to write your mapper class. You need to write your driver class. You need to write your, do you need to write your, this is what happening. I don't know what's going with this. Sorry, guys. Okay, it's taken some time to loading all. Yeah, it loaded. Still is refreshing, so that's why it's taking some time. It's okay, we'll just close them, not a problem. So in this case, okay, now, so you said, sir, reducer is not required. What will be the mapper output? What will be the map only? That is called, if you don't have a reducer, that is called map only job. If you don't have a reducer, that's called map only job. Map only job. If it's a map only job, what will happen, sir? Where the output will go? Sir, you said that the mapper output will go to, the mapper output will go to local disk of data node. But if it's a map only job, is the output will go to local disk of the name data node, or it will go to a reducer? I mean, it will go to the HDFS. Will it go to the HDFS, or it will go to the local disk of the data node? Guys, please tell me. Will it go to the local disk, or it will go to
The destination shouldn't change, right? Like even if you are running your reducer class or not.
The destination means?
Like it should be writing it onto HDFS.
So if it is a map and reduce both, so where your map output will go? So if you have a mapper and reducer, both are there, so where is your output will go? A mapper output, I'm talking about mapper, that's called intermediate data. You will get a question on this. Intermediate data, where intermediate data will go? Where your intermediate data will go? When you have a map and reduce, your intermediate data will go to, when you have a map and reduce, your intermediate data will go to, your intermediate data, which is called map output. Your map output will go to, data nodes, local memory. This is another point. Let me put here. So map only job, and let me write here map and reduce job. Map and reduce job. So intermediate data. So when I say intermediate data, it's map or output data. Intermediate, because it's a map and reduce phase between, right? That's intermediate data. Intermediate data. Here it will go to. Data nodes local disk. Local file system. Ideally, local disk means local file system. Local file system. When it comes here, HDFS. The final output here. Sorry guys, it's the reverse. Here it will go to the output as HDFS. Here it will go to the local disk. Here you have something called reducer. The final output will go to HDFS. Here there is no other next processes. The output itself is the final output itself is the HDFS. Here internally it will go to the map phase. The output will go to local disk. From the local disk again it will read. And it will put into HDFS in the Mapreduce phase. In the map only phase, only the output will be intermediate data. It doesn't need any other processes. It will directly write into HDFS. Okay. Now let's see the difference. Let's see that. Okay, I already have that example. We're going to execute that example. We're going to execute that example. MR jobs. Grep job. And grep mapper. If you look at here, my requirement is just grep. Search for the specific word. Okay. So in this case, I don't need a map reducer. So that's why I written only grep mapper. So this is a mapper. So I want to print here line number and all. That is the reason I'm taking line number. But this is also correct way. So there is some other way to find the line number. I'm just showing you here to how can we take care of the line number. But it's not a good idea. No good way to print this. It will give wrong values when you have a distributed multiple blocks, or I can say multiple input formats. Okay. Now I mean, so this is also other thing where I'm passing like grep. It's grep word. Okay, that's I'll tell you what is that. So here in the if condition, if it contains hard-coded value. So first I'm showing you without parameter. First I'm showing you a hard-coded value. Grep, it contains distributed. Then I'm emitting line number and I'm emitting the value. If you don't want that, you emit only the line. So let me write for you guys. I think you guys are got confused. Let me write. So I'll take this both only. Okay, I'll copy this both and I'll just modify the code. Okay, instead of writing complete code, I'll just modify the code for you. I'm pasting here this. The idea is I don't want to get disturbed. I don't want you guys get confused. This is my grep job. Grep job. I don't want to. Okay, I don't want you guys to confuse with this. Okay, so if you guys confuse here, again you may face a problem. Okay, here also. So let it be this. I hard coded this. I have hard coded. Instead of distributed, I'll say Hadoop because most of the example what we take Hadoop will be there. Okay, now very simple. So you guys know driver class never change. The driver class never change except set number of reduced tasks. Number reduced tasks are 0 because I don't want to execute my default reducer as well. I don't want to execute my default reducer as well. So if I don't have a reducer, I'll not be having a output key class, output value class, because those are final output key class, final output k3 v3. I don't have k3 v3 at all, so I have commented them. And I have only map k2 v2, so I have kept them as it is. So I have a input path, output path, and if the output path is already exists, just delete it. So this idea for this, just delete it. So remaining everything is same. You're setting the configuration here, getting the configuration here. So if anyone calls the get conf, I can return from here. So your main method, in the main method will call configuration, your job, your arguments, then system.out.println if else conditions, nothing else. So okay, so remaining everything is same. Everything is same as it is as your word count program or identity mapper, identity reducer, right? As same as that. Your driver class never change. So you will be having a set get conf, you will be having a main method, from the main method you will be having a run method. That's same. Okay. Coming to mapper class. Map extends your mapper class. This also nothing changes, and you'll be having a map method. Suppose you want to set up method and cleanup method, you can write it, but time being keep aside. We'll take care of them a little later. Okay, we'll take care of them a little later. We don't need this. Okay, now in the map method, what is our requirement? Our requirement is find. So let me remove the line number also here. I don't want to show the line number. I want to find if Hadoop is there. If Hadoop is there, I will write here new text of. I don't need to write that as well. I can directly emit the value. I don't need to convert to value also. I'll just completely give complete line. I'll give value. So my this one null writable, null writable, null writable, null writable. Okay, here also I need to change text null writable, text null writable. Okay, I need to change here as well. So I don't need to remove. Let me remove this part. If I change one place key value, I need to change everywhere, right? So that's the one idea. It's not visible. I think we will do, I forgot this one, how we will give the null writable. I think we'll give just null writable. In some of the jobs I used it. I just want to check it. Null writable get only, no, the same thing. Okay, then I think I don't use new. I should not use new. Great. Yeah, happy. It's happy. Now I change here. In my driver class also I need to change my K2 V2. This is my K2 is long writable. No, it should not be long writable now. It's a text. My value should be null writable. Null writable. Done. Success. Now let's go ahead and execute this. Let's go ahead and execute this code. Okay. First we will execute in the local mode. Then we will execute in the cluster mode. First let's see here whether we have any input file. Yes, we should have an input file. There is something called mr input. In this we have something called word count data. What is the word count data? It is a more Java. Okay, there is no Hadoop. So in this, then we'll search for the Java itself. We will search for Java itself. Okay, we will search for Java. The code will say, instead of saying Hadoop, we'll search for the Java. Okay, now let's go here, right click, run as. Everyone please look at guys this. Run configuration, run configuration, run configuration. Double click on this. As soon as you double click there, you'll find your job, grep job. You can also take it from if an existing one elements. If you want, you can take existing one elements. Okay, let me take other input. Oh, all are bigger data only. Fine, then I'll take it from here. I don't need it. Slash word count data dot txt. This is my input. This is my input. Output also same location, but grep 1. So input output I have specified. I don't need to specify any other parameter because I'm not using anything else. Apply, run. Apply and run. Let's see what will happen. Job is success. Let's go to here. Grep 1 is created. We have success file is there and you have this as well. Let's look at this. In this line you have Java. In this line also you have somewhere. In this line you have somewhere Java. It will be there, otherwise it will not come. Virtual machine under this Java.
In the first line itself, in the second block.
Yeah. Here it is there. Here also Java is there. Here also Java is there. Right? So we are fetching the and grepping it. So we are fetching and grepping it. Okay. Now we just fetched and we just loaded it. So now what are the changes we made? We made changes. Reduce tasks are 0. I didn't give the reduce tasks something. I just given the reduce task 0. And what I did, I don't need to write anything as a value. If you ideally speaking, I don't. So what is our use case? Find, fetch it, display. So in this case, you don't need a value as well. So the key itself is enough. I have handled. So with this is here hard coded. If I execute this program 100 times, it will always search for the Java only. But if I don't want to hard code it, I want to do it with a dynamic. I want to pass a parameter along with my input output. How will I do that? So that we will see in the next class. Okay, the exercise or assignment for you guys. The same code now I have executed in the grep local runner mode. I want you to execute this. I want you to execute this in MR mode. That's assignment one. That's the assignment one. The first assignment is everyone guys. I want this result today evening. My evening. Today my evening. IST. Run in MR mode. Second assignment. Second assignment. We have did it for the grep. You guys need it for sed. There is something called sed. Sed means find and replace. And replace. Find and replace. Okay. Find and replace. I don't know why Nikesh is left. Okay. Second assignment is find a key. Let's say you found the Java, so you replace with Hadoop. Okay. Find and replace. Grep sed. Okay. So you need to decide whether reducer is required, whether reducer is not required. You need to decide that. Okay. Third assignment. You take a same word count program. Take word count program. Word count program. Same. You don't need to change anything. Take word count program. Reduce. Reduce method. Number of reduced tasks are there, right? You set the 0. You set the number of reduced tasks are 0. Job dot set num reduced tasks 0. Execute the program. You don't need to change anything else. You just execute the program. But when you say reduce tasks are 0, you need to modify your K3 V3 should not be there. Your reducer should not be there in the driver class. You should take care of that. After that, I want you to find whether the output of mapper is sorted or not. Sorted or not. The output of the mapper is sorted or not. You need to confirm. Okay. So when the sort will happen, so if you don't have a reducer, the output of if you don't have a reducer, the output of the mapper is sorted or not. Okay, these are the 3 exercises I want you guys to execute and send the code to me. So till today evening, my evening 9 o'clock, I'll be checking my mailbox by 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. IST. I want the results. IST, sorry, not ISI, IST, ISI. I want to see 9 p.m. IST. By my India time, 9 p.m. IST, I'll be checking the mailbox. The code is already available. You guys has the code. Okay, the code is there. Where the code is there, guys? Where the code is there? Where the code is there? You have a code here. You have a code here. Okay, you have a code in this. But you guys,
Ravi, can you please ping me this particular link? I don't have that. Yeah.
code is please go through this and please look the code, take it as a reference, and if you copy paste and if you just simply send me, I can identify where you have changed, where you not changed. I can identify the way you have written. Okay, Look at the code, understand the code, and write your own. Okay. Yeah, that's it guys. That's it for today. Have a great day.